So I believe in early 2023, I read this book, Essentialism, which is essentially about removing noise, removing things that don't impact your life the way you want things to impact it. In other words, removing distractions so you'd get better results, greater results in other areas, or like top priority things. I read this book in early 2023 and it has impacted my life so greatly. I started removing the noise. Although I still had plenty of attachments, I still didn't remove as many activities that are actually considered noise. Things that aren't just the main thing that moved the needle. So I struggled because I was so attached to certain activities that I just couldn't let them go. So as few months passed by, I started noticing myself adding more unnecessary activities into my daily schedule, the sort of activities that give you the sort of any benefit thinking that this still gives you some benefit, even though it isn't the main thing that brings most of the results. It still gives you some benefits, so you get to feel productive. You give the same amount of energy that you would give toward the main thing, but since you don't want to confront some of your fears, you don't want none of that new stuff, you just stay in your lane, you stay in the familiar. So you do this any benefit activity that still gives you some benefit, but like only gives you about 10% of the results rather than 80 or 90% of the results that you could get from the main thing. But basically, I'd notice myself adding those activities back, and then I'd read Essentialism again. And again, I would remove the noise that stops moving the needle, that stops the progress. Whenever you're reading a book and you've read this book like one time, you should try and read it as many times as possible. If you think that the book is actually so valuable, I advise you to just read it like 10 times. Like, not to just read it. And the reason you reread them is because you want to change your behavior as much as possible. You want to learn as much as possible. Learn is basically change of behavior under the same circumstances. So let's say if you read the new books and you don't change your behavior, it means you've just wasted your life because nothing has changed about the situation. So like pick 5 books to reread and like get a really good grasp of the knowledge that's inside of those books, and then just apply it as much as you can in your life, and you'll just notice how many things you totally missed out on after reading it 1 or 2 times. So read it like 5 to 10 times and you'll just understand the depth of the actual information that you're reading. So succeed or die trying.